Hey, it's your old pal, SimplySuperDave, coming to you from the great state of Louisiana here in the crazy country of the United States of America on the spinning out of control planet we call Earth in this vast infinite universe we call life. How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. I was just thinking on the way here, and here I mean my place of my lair, my den, my castle, my zen spot, my hole in the wall, whatever you want to call it. I was coming home. And right before I turned in, I have to tell you about this. I saw a dude. He was wearing all white. He was Whitey from Me, Myself, and Irene. If you've never seen, that's the movie reference for the night. Me, Myself, and Irene with Jim Carrey. Even saw a meme earlier referring to that movie. So obviously it's destined to be the movie recommend of the night with Jim Carrey, where he has split personalities. Also, Renee Zellweger is in it. She was, of course, popular for the movie Jerry Maguire and Bridget Jones's Diary and so fucking many more movies like Cold Mountain, even great flick. She won an Academy Award for that one. But Me, Myself, and Irene is a classic Jim Carrey film. All right, let's get into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is called greed. All right, everybody loves greed, right? I mean, we have been so desensitized by movies, TV, and commercials and everything. And it has diluted everything that we know today. I mean, the truth is really still out there for everybody. And like I said, if you've listened to the podcast before, everybody's truth is different based on perspective. So even what I'm saying, I know that people won't be totally agreeing with me, but hopefully it opens up the conversation in their own head to where whatever's being fed to them should be taken at face value. Always dig deeper, folks. Always ask questions, even if it's too good to be true. That's the question you got to ask yourself, because usually, most of the time, there's always strings attached to everything. That's just life. We should know that now, right? I was thinking on my way over here how even when some of my favorite movies I've watched in the past, Days of Thunder is what pops to mind. Randy Quaid going off on Tom Cruise and Robert Duvall in The Office talking about trying to get sponsorships, and they have to at least finish a race, you know. Great movie again. Tony Scott, a great director. Ridley Scott's younger brother, actually. Interesting backstory to that, if you ever get a chance to look into the backstory of Tony Scott, the director. Very sad ending, but what a brilliant mind he was. Anyway, back to the point, the sponsorships, and we have been taught that we want corporate sponsorships. You know, that's where the money is, right? Get money from corporations, But that means they buy into whatever it is that you do so well that they would sponsor you at. Whether it's a sport, needlepoint, whatever it is, you know, I don't care what it is that you do that you can get a corporate sponsorship. And I thought about that. What if the SimplySuperDave went viral, for example, and all of a sudden I had opportunities kind of thrown my way by corporate sponsorships? That'd be hard. I'm poor. So obviously I would want to grab that, right? You know, but then I would be signing away my own content, letting creation be, maybe you shouldn't do that. Robin Williams, Good Morning Vietnam, the whole scene where he wants to read the news, but the news has to be edited by these two guys that were twins, that oddly played a role in the Terminator 2 film as the security guard that got his coffee and he got a full house, you know. Anyway, he had a royal flush. That's what it was. Anyway, back to the point. Anyway, the news was edited. So everything that you heard from that point was not true because someone else was controlling your content. Right now, I'm freely able to do I edit my content based on how social interaction goes. Like if I go over a topic or say something that might be, like I've learned not to use certain words. And there's a part inside of me that wants to fight that urge and say those words all the time. And let's take a word, for example. Like when I play video games and I get a kill, there's that word. It is so automatic because, it doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not really doing that action, unaliving. So I love hearing that people say that they're unaliving someone. It's like we're changing our code of the way we talk based on censorship through digital media. Do you understand how fucked up that is? I mean, do y'all all realize that we are purposely changing the way we talk? Because the algorithms of social media platforms say, no, you can't say that word, so you have to say a different word. So now we're like, they unalived themselves the other day. What? They killed themselves. And it is like, why did we change that? I mean, oh my gosh. If you listen to the previous podcast, there's more about that. But that is going to be an ongoing topic because AI, and like I said, is going to change things at a rapid rate. Okay, and that is just a small little example of the very many things that have changed in our actual real life vernacular and in our vocabulary. Everything about us is changing. That's why I think we have a mental issue to deal with in our country, especially considering we're a melting pot of different traditions. And so other countries can kind of like deal with it together because they're all believe in the same thing, right? But here in this country, we all got people that all kind of want the same thing, but they believe in different things. So you're going to have conflict and things to work out. And that is the beauty and the curse and blessing of being an American and on this planet, in my opinion. I love the conversations. I love the debates. I love how we continuously change. That is the brilliance of our constitutions, because our forefathers knew they wanted better, but they didn't know it all. So they made a living, breathing document that can change with society as long as the people control the change, right? And that's where we got to come together as a people, regardless if we agree or disagree about a lot of things. We want to continue doing that, right? So we don't need an outside agenda pushing us to the edge. And that's where that greed comes in, because corporation agenda is what has corrupted our country from within. The ultra greed of wanting something so bad that you're willing to sign your soul over for it. And as you watch documentaries and look into the behind the stories of people like Prince, Michael Jackson, and so forth, even the Kanye situation, if you kept up with all the media he put out before it was censored or taken off the web, then you know there's some weird shit going on in the music business. And that's just an entertainment industry problem itself on. Isn't it odd that Sound of Freedom came out and then Hollywood shut down? Isn't it just weird? I know that people are going to fight me on this, but they have been doing digitalization of characters and backpack people in scenes for fucking decades now. I mean, think about the scene from Gladiator where Russell Crowe walks into the stadium and he looks around and that vast scene of people looking down upon them, getting ready to watch them die in battle, supposedly. But that whole scene was CGI'd. There was no actual Coliseum built, like they would have done in the 50s, 70s, or 80s, or even the 90s probably. But that was that first step right there. And now you're saying you don't want AI to take away, other backstory characters. You're narrowing it down. It's just inevitable, unfortunately. I hate to tell you that, entertainment people, but You're one of the very many victims that's fixing to happen because of artificial intelligence. And the reason why, I had the opportunity to go to college in my late 20s. I decided, you know what, I'm going to go get that college degree. I just feel like I got to get that thing, right? So I went ahead and signed up for community college. I even made out for a Pell Grant. One of the few times in my life I got federal assistance because of my low income. So I took advantage of that. So I went 2 semesters, and my main course was, of course, telecommunications. I wanted to get into, of course, the TV business and then work my way from there and just, start out basic, working a camera, having fun with it, playing with all the toys. This is rad as everything goes from the way movies were made to the way movies are made now. And what I mean by that, there used to be an editing machine. There used to be tape. There used to be film. There used to be cameras that were just, you had film. You had film. There's a word you don't hear very often. Film. Now, it's everything went digital. Like, you had I was a small minority of people that actually used the editing machines at the college because there was only a couple of them. And I've had fun playing with editing machines at, like, news stations before because I've had relatives work at news stations, and we go there at 2 a.m., and I would just go in and play with the editing machines, bring a bunch of VHS tapes. I don't know if you know what those are. And of all the stuff I recorded off TV that I wanted to put together in a small clip with some music background to it and have a little fun. That's why I enjoy doing TikToks. By the way, follow me on TikTok if you want to. If you like video game content, mostly a Fortnite's what I play for my release away from reality is what I do. 20 minutes a day, try to at least get a match in and have a little fun. And so follow me on there, that's for sure. But like I said, what if I went viral there? Would I want to accept any kind of corporate offers, because if I made any kind of content or said anything of an opinion type that involved a word like kill, then I would get my sponsorships and all that taken away because I didn't keep up with the digital media algorithm of approved language. And that's just not my style. And I think that we shouldn't bow to that. And so I continue to make my content the way I do. I realize very few people actually hear it, and that's okay. That's the reason why I make every episode try to be a little bit different and unique, and I go in different directions with it because I want to be on point with what I'm trying to stick to, which is I want you to stay super among all this crazy shit we talk about because it's all true. It's all true. Everything is true. Well, no. Nothing is true. Everything is permissible. This is the everything is permissible part, to the point where nothing is really true to everybody. When we find things that the absolute everybody has a consensus on, those are the things I consider facts. I find that very interesting how we're easy to change in just the course of a week or two. And topics and what we talk about in a real life situation, what's going on and stuff like that. But the greed, it all revolves around the money. I watch people literally have mental breakdowns over their, like for instance, streamers, people that try to go and make content on Twitch or YouTube or any platform that you can live stream from, TikTok even, Instagram, whatever their platform of choice is. And because they think it's easy to do, and it seems like it's easy to do, and if you to me, it's always about this X factor. You don't know if you have it or not until you put it out there. And if you have it, it picks up. Sometimes it could be what you're doing. It just takes the right set of eyes or the right algorithm to hit to put you out there for everybody to either latch on or not with you. And I think that's just what it is. And like, I'm very humble and I'm very happy with what I have, and I'm happy with the success of my podcast and my TikToks and all that neat stuff when it's not even close to anything successful in anyone else's eyes. But that's what I try to stay super about. I know what the perception is from outside from everybody else, which is why I'm very honest about my podcast and my content, because I know that very few people actually see it. So I don't try to act like when I talk, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm one of those failed streamers, but I've had fun streaming. I enjoyed the entire experience. I'm glad I did it and everything, but there was a little period there where the expectations were there and everything looked like it was going in the right direction, but it's really a lot of work involved in it. And, at the time when I started it, I had the time, but I have gone to 7 days a week working and just don't have that time to stream like I used to. I was asked today if I did, and I still do have a streaming account, so follow me on Twitch, and in a rare blue moon, if I do ever fire it up, then you will get a notification, and you'll be able to hear me live, and you can interact and actually have conversation with me through, I'm playing a game, but I'm not. I'm a casual player. I'm not a pro player, so it's not that kind of stream. It's all about the content and the chat and having fun and getting your money's worth if you decide to donate to the cause. If you do decide to want to donate and want to help me out in whatever way you want, if we want to keep this subscription going for recording podcasts and help me out in that area kind of thing, then hit me up on Cash App. You already know the name. SimplySuperDave. It's very simple. I pretty much try to nail that name on every platform that I can think of. So if you're on any of those, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, Instagram, SimplySuperDave is the way to go. But referring all the way back to the very beginning of what I was talking about, corporation greed is what pushes everything. So is this AI going to be about humanity, or is it going to be about straight production and money and numbers? The humanity part of life is slowly being eroded away. And it changes on such the daily that we don't even realize that we're doing it to each other. So sometimes we got to remember that we aren't the big superstars and pop rock stars that we think that we're going to be, or whatever we were told. We should be angry about the fact that we were lied to about basically everything that we've ever been, any kind of questionable thing that's ever happened in front of us. I almost wonder if anything's real anymore. It's scary how much footage and stuff that can be altered and look so real today, to the point where now that I look at all this information that's in front of me, what's real and what's not. It's pretty scary. And I heard there's a bill on the floor. Get this, folks, and you need to know this. This is vitally important. I promise you this is very real. Pearlmania 5000 on TikTok. I suggest you follow him. He was talking about a Senate bill that's on the floor by both Republicans and Democrats, where you would have to prove, they're making a law for social media platforms to have to prove their users are 18 and older. Yep. And so what that means is you're going to have to provide proof. Digitally download your driver's license, an ID or whatever. You're going to have to show them your address, whatever, to prove that you are 18 and older to post and read content. That they're trying to do this as a child safety thing. And I understand about child safety. I've always agreed there should be a adult profile or an adult, if there should be adult access and everybody access, like G-rated and R-rated, okay? And I would be in the R-rated section just for safety. Even though most things I talk about really aren't bad, dirty, gory, or anything sexual for sure. But I do bring up very controversial, critical thought things that, then that's what I get censored for. So my censorship, I feel like, is the most worst kind, because it's just about thought-provoking conversation. Don't be so greedy with your life. Take a chance and look around. If you got the bills paid and you got just a little money in the bank to go get you some Burger King, then you're doing great. You're staying super, okay? If you're getting there, get there. You can do it. I promise you, if you keep trying to fly, you will. All right? Don't give up on yourself. I've been grounded under the ground, at the bottom of the well, rock bottom. So right now, I'm flying. I'm doing great, even on my bad days or some of my best days, just because I make it through the day. And that's what staying super is all about. Don't get greedy. Don't let the corporate agenda, don't let all this media brainwash you. And the final topic we got to talk about, and if you don't want to, if you need proof from me, proof that everything you see out there on TV and what's being presented to you on this little apple of knowledge in your hand is, and think about that apple of knowledge. Good reference, right? It's all the information ever right there, you know. Truth and lies and everything right there in your hand. Want to sadly say that I hate hearing about the passing of Sinead O'Connor. Nothing Compares to You was a huge hit in my younger years. And she pretty much ended her career on Saturday Night Live when she sang a very powerful verse and spoke about truth and knowing the real enemy, and held up a picture of the Pope at that current time, which I think was Francis Paul, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I don't care. And talked about protecting the children, and ripped up the picture on live TV and let it burn right there in front of her on the candles, I think. And everybody was stunned because nobody knew she was going to do that. And she got smeared. Her career ended. Everybody called her a goof or loon, crazy. And here we are, and we realized that everybody that did that to her was wrong. That we should have questioned exactly what the fuck is she talking about? Why didn't anybody ask that question? Why didn't anybody? I thought that. I was like, well, why? Why? Well, I wanted to know why. Well, there must be a reason. What is she talking about? But I was in my 20s, and the information's very limited. We didn't have the internet then. You just had whatever MTV News told you. The rest was all conversation between friends and people that actually talked about it, if it was talked about at all. In retrospect, what a critical, important moment in history. Saturday Night Live in front of millions of people, live. I mean, that was the ultimate call out, right? And look what happened to her. That just says it all. Doesn't that just say it all? Look what they all did to her. Sorry about that, everybody. Got a little phone call right there in the middle of that, and oh my gosh. Oh, anyway. I'm going to try to stick to the train of thought here. I hate it when I hate that because I was so focused in on what I was talking about a little bit. Oh, Sinead O'Connor. Yeah. Everything that's controlled media-wise are the very people that smeared her. You know, so think about it. Everything that you know, everything that's pushed, the news, all that crap, it's all just controlled information to make you feel a certain way. You got to make yourself feel the way you need to feel. Control your informational input. Don't feed into everything that you see. Question everything. The truth is there. It's just most of the time it's wrapped up in lies. And yes, I did mean what I said about the music industry earlier, about how many people have sold their souls, literally. I mean, look at TLC. Look how screwed over they got. They were the biggest R&B duos ever in history. All a 3-female crew just fucking killing it out there. Waterfalls, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, just so many songs. And tragically, Left Eye Lopez passed away under controversial issues because supposedly she was going to do something very important that dealt with child trafficking, of course. like I said, I'm bringing up what Sinead O'Connor alluded us to, and how important and true that is today. Because we've already seen what's happened at the Vatican in the last 25 to 30 years. It's a sad disgrace. It really is. And it's still going on today. It really is. You think that they just caught who got caught, okay? That's all it is. And don't be distracted, folks. Somewhere in a vault, somebody out there right now knows who are the clients on the Epstein list. Somebody knows, and nobody is talking. That is, to me, the most ultimate corruption in the world. I mean, that's like, that, why not tell us who are the people on this client list? Is it that protected? Wow. That's all I gotta say. So I don't trust nobody. I don't trust the system. I don't trust the corporate agenda. I believe in the people. I believe in you, and I believe in me, and I believe that we're going to be able to see the real world out there, and you can say words like kill and not mean it in a bad way. Just because you get a kill in a video game doesn't mean you unalived anybody in real life. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Like I said, just think about how digital media has changed social and how we are and interact with one another. Even the words we use, and which could be a good thing. I mean, if we've ever wanted to push a certain word out because it's probably bad or offensive, then that's the way to do it. But taking ordinary words that just because, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And we're letting it happen too easily, all to become a better people. And but I think we've been becoming a better people way before artificial intelligence ever came along. We're just going to be doing it at a faster rate. So there's going to be a lot of friction out there. So don't let the corporate agenda, don't let their commercials, don't let their news broadcasts, don't let their programming, that's what it's called, programming, program you. Use it for inspiration. Use it to thought-provoke yourself, but don't take it as it is. Never do. Always question everything. And I promise you, you'll find your path, you'll find your way through the woods, and you'll find your way to being the best you can possibly be. And you'll find yourself flying super in the air and staying super in this crazy universe that we call life. Like I said, folks, if you can't deal with the hate and fear, it's like not dealing with the weeds in your garden. It overgrows it. It kills everything. It kills all the love and laughter you're trying to grow. So be sure to deal with that hate and fear, and you'll have an abundance of love and laughter. Be the conqueror, not the victim. Have a wonderful night.